Hi, I'm Thomas Porteous and you're watching Deep Dive on News X World. Today we're taking a closer look at one of Southeast Asia's most dangerous flashpoints, the renewed clashes between Thailand and Cambodia, and why a border dispute that never fully disappeared is now back with airstrikes, evacuations and regional alarm bells ringing. Now let's start with what's just happened. Thailand has confirmed launching airstrikes against what it calls Cambodian military targets along the disputed border. This escalation follows deadly exchanges of fire that killed at least 2 Thai soldiers and injured several others. Let's take a listen in.
ในช่วงเช้ามืดที่ผ่านมานะครับมีการยิงและเกิดการปะทะในหลายพื้นที่นะหลายจุดจนกระทั่งรุ่งเช้านะครับและเริ่มมีการปะทะนะครับหนักขึ้นตั้งแต่เวลาประมาณช่วง 5 นาฬิกาของเมื่อเช้ามืดเป็นต้นมานะครับคือทางฝ่ายกัมพูชาเองมีทั้งการใช้ปืนเล็กนะครับปืนใหญ่อาวุธยิงสนับสนุนต่างๆเนี่ยเข้ามาจนเป็นเหตุให้กำลังพลเราได้รับบาดเจ็บและเสียชีวิตนะครับในพื้นที่ช่องบกนะครับและยังพบหลักฐานว่าทางฝ่ายกัมพูชาเองเนี่ยได้เปิดพื้นที่การปะทะเพิ่มเติมอีกในหลายพื้นที่ด้วยกันในช่วงเช้ามืด
Now Cambodia tells a very different story. Phom Penh insists Thai forces fired guns and tanks into Cambodian territory, saying its own soldiers exercised restraint and did not retaliate. By Monday, both sides accused each other again. Let's listen into it.
ថ្ងៃទី 8 ខែធ្នូ ឆ្នាំ 2025 នេះ យោធាថៃ បានបន្តបើកការបាញ់ប្រហារសារជាថ្មីមកលើកងកម្លាំងកម្ពុជា នៅគ្រប់ទិសនៅក្នុងយុទ្ធភូមិភាគទី 4 ចាប់ពីវេលាប្រមាណម៉ោង 5:04 នាទីព្រឹក នៅវេលាម៉ោង 8:10 នាទី យោធាថៃបានបាញ់ផ្សែងពុលចូលតំបន់ភ្នំខ្មោចយ៉ាងច្រើន 11 នៅវេលាម៉ោង 8:14 នាទី យោធាថៃបានបាញ់ផ្សែងពុលបន្ថែមនៅក្នុងតំបន់ប្រាសាទព្រះវិហារ នៅវេលាម៉ោង 9:05 នាទី យោធាថៃបានវាយប្រហារមកលើកម្លាំងកម្ពុជា ដោយប្រើប្រាស់ប្រភេទយន្តហោះចម្បាំង F16 បន្ថែមទៀតនៅក្នុងភូមិសាស្ត្រស្រុកស្រអែមខេត្តព្រះវិហារ
As the fighting intensified, tens of thousands of civilians on both sides were evacuated. Schools near the border shut down, shelters filled quickly. A Thai teacher told local media that students' lives have been completely disrupted once again. This is now the most serious confrontation since the ceasefire signed in July, after 5 days of fighting that killed dozens of soldiers and civilians. So why is this happening again? After a peace deal, a ceasefire and even international involvement? To answer that, we need to look at both recent diplomacy and deep-rooted history. In July, heavy fighting pushed the region to the brink. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim stepped in to broker a ceasefire. US President Donald Trump applied pressure too, reportedly threatening to halt tariff negotiations unless the fighting stopped. In October, Trump even flew to the ASEAN summit in Malaysia to preside over a joint peace declaration, calling it a monumental step for Southeast Asia. But just weeks after, Thailand announced it was suspending implementation of the agreement, citing a landmine explosion that injured Thai soldiers. Cambodia, which even nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize for his role, insists it has remained committed to the deal. Malaysia is now sounding the alarm again, and Prime Minister Anwar warns the renewed violence risks unravelling the careful work done to stabilise relations between the two neighbours. Despite ceremonies and signatures, mistrust never disappeared, and that's because the core dispute was never truly resolved. This border conflict goes back more than a century to the colonial era. The boundary between Thailand and Cambodia was drawn during French colonial rule in the early 1900s. Maps produced then left large sections vague and open to interpretation. One of the most sensitive flashpoints is the area around ancient temples, especially Priya Vihar, a UNESCO-listed site loaded with symbolism for both nations. Control of these temples isn't just about land, it's about sovereignty, national pride and history. Court rulings, including from the International Court of Justice, have clarified some issues but left others unresolved. Each side still uses different maps, and that ambiguity fuels recurring crises. Nationalism plays a powerful role here. Leaders in both countries face domestic pressures, and border tensions have often been used to rally public support. In Thailand, political instability, including leadership challenges and military influence, complicates diplomacy. In Cambodia, Prime Minister Hun Manet is still consolidating authority after taking over from his father and appearing strong on sovereignty matters at home. And then there are the triggers, small incidents that escalate very quickly. A skirmish in May of this year, when a Cambodian soldier was killed, reignited hostilities. From there came border closures, trade restrictions, military build-ups, and by July, full-scale fighting. What makes the current escalation especially worrying is the weaponry involved. Thailand now says Cambodian forces fired multiple rockets, something not seen since the July ceasefire. Bangkok responded with Air Force jets bombing Cambodian positions. Cambodia denies provoking the strikes, but accuses Thailand of crossing a dangerous line. Both sides continue to accuse each other of acting first, but the reality is this, with high mistrust, unresolved borders and armed forces on hair trigger alert, every incident carries the risk of spinning out of control. And the fallout isn't just military. Economically, tensions spill into trade, cross-border labour movement and investment confidence. Thousands of families live and work on both sides of the border. Each time fighting erupts, livelihoods are disrupted and fear returns. Regionally, ASEAN's principle of stability is under strain. Malaysia's mediation credibility is on the line, and the United States, once again involved diplomatically, risks seeing another peace deal unravel before the ink fully dries. So where does this leave us? Unless Thailand and Cambodia address the root causes, unclear borders, nationalist pressures and lack of enforcement mechanisms, ceasefires will remain temporary pauses, not lasting solutions. Now, joining us on this discussion is Kin Phia. He is the Director General Researcher at International Relations Institute of Cambodia, joining us live from the Cambodian capital of Phnom Penh. Thank you very much for joining us here on NewsX World. It's a pleasure to have you today especially. Let's get straight into this. Can you give us and our viewers an explanation on what triggered these latest clashes between these two neighbouring Southeast Asian countries?
Thank you very much for having me. As you've have a very brief introduction, I think that the fires was started by Thai side since yesterday. For Cambodia, we do not have any reason to make fire to open fire with the Thai side, as we are a smaller country in terms of economies, military power and population. So I think the reason behind why Thais opened fire against Cambodia is that the military just want to legitimize their dominant political power by portray itself as the indispensable guardian of the national security and territorial integrity of Thailand. And while Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul, who will dissolve the National Assembly soon, and the election will be held very soon, so he just want to increase his popularity as the surveys. His popularity is very low, so that's why he just collude with the military, turn their domestic political issue to the border with Cambodia to divert the attention of the Thai people while they mismanage their internal issues. So they just try to make trouble at the border to divert the public attentions.
What do you say? Of course, we saw that grand ceremony in Malaysia just a few months ago. Officials and leaders seemed to have smiles on their faces. However, these small incidents seem to trigger huge effects for thousands and thousands of civilians in these border regions. How can the root causes of these reoccurring conflicts be resolved?
I think the only both party, particularly the Thai side, use the map that is annexed to the Franco-Siamese treaty and conventions. Both countries have internationally recognized treaty and agreements, so only the two countries respect the internationally recognized treaty and convention as well as agreement and MOU that signed together to address the border issue. For Cambodia, for the Cambodian side, we have consistently respected to the treaty, Franco-Siamese Treaty and Convention in addressing the border conflict between the two countries. And we consistently uphold the peaceful resolution through the diplomatic and international law mechanism. As a small country, we never provoke any war that as a country have been experiencing war for so many years, so we know that the consequences of so only Thailand has the goodwill, commitment, and sincerity to address the border issue with Cambodia based on the international law, diplomatic mechanism, as well as the existing framework that both countries have together. We cannot use war, use military force to address the border conflict. I think that it's very hard that Cambodia try to have a peace deal with Thailand. Also the ceasefire with Thailand with active involvement of the third party, including US, Malaysia, and China, as well as the support from international community. So there is no way that Cambodia want to go to war. We just want diplomatic resolution.
Sorry to interrupt, but Thailand says that Cambodia has fired rockets towards its territory, and in response, Thailand said that it has responded with these Air Force jets bombing these Cambodian positions. How does one go about navigating from the outside the correct information coming out of this conflict?
You see, I think this is the distortion, truth distortion made by the Thai side. Cambodia is weaker in terms of military power. Thai has used very modern weaponry, including fighting jets, F-16 Griffin, and other very modern technology weaponry to fight against Cambodia. And we keep very constrained that we have not retaliated the provocation, the fights from Thai side. But Thai is so good at distorting the story. Thai side is very good at distorting the truth. The media just try to cover everything, just try to distort everything about the conflict, about the war they themselves created.
Kin Phi, thank you very much for joining us here on NewsX World Deep Dive. It's been a pleasure to have you here on the programme. Well, that's all that we have time for today. Stay tuned on NewsX World for more